Flying it can occasionally be an exhilarating experience, particularly when it comes to landing. While most landings are uneventful and smooth, there are a few extremely dangerous airports around the world. These upcoming airports require the highest level of precision and expertise from the pilot. So in today's video, we're going to count down 10 of the most terrifying plane landing approaches. Number 10. Paro Airport, Bhutan. Located in a slender valley encircled by majestic mountains, the approach to the airport in Paro requires maneuvering a number of steep descents and tight curves. This airport is notorious for its strong crosswinds, downdrafts, and turbulence, which can make a landing extremely difficult. Dense fog and low-lying clouds frequently blanket the valley, further reducing visibility and creating an eerie atmosphere for pilots. To make matters even more daunting, pilots must execute precise maneuvers to navigate this treacherous terrain, relying heavily on their skill and training. Paro Airport is devoid of an apparatus, ILS, or landing system. An ILS gives pilots exact direction throughout approach and landing, enabling them to navigate accurately even in the absence of that vital instrument. The strain is increased because the pilots are only able to use their own judgment and visual clues. Additionally, the runway is quite short, just 6,500 feet long, which limits the amount of room for error and necessitates a precise touchdown. Pilots must conduct a difficult visual approach while maintaining a narrow flight path that demands focus. Any deviation or incorrect calculation could have catastrophic repercussions. For novice pilots, the culmination of those elements fosters a culture of fear and anxiety. The requirement for a split and flawless execution. The flight crew is under tremendous pressure to make a second judgment, which requires a high degree of competence and concentration. Before we move on, I'm pleased to share this good news. Now you can be a member of this channel and enjoy some perks and rewards. For instance, if you become a member, you'll get the videos earlier than others. You can also support us in making and improving our videos by giving us super chats. We will surely give you a shout out in our videos. Number 9. Svalbard Airport, Norway. Firstly, Svalbard Airport is situated in the high Arctic, just 800 miles from the North Pole. This extreme northerly latitude brings with it the unpredictability of polar weather conditions that could change rapidly and dramatically. Svalbard Airport is notorious among pilots for being one of the most intimidating and landing sites in the world. The airport's unique geographical location, coupled with its harsh climate and treacherous surroundings, makes a truly terrifying experience even for the most seasoned pilots. Strong wind gusts, blizzards, and restricted visibility from fog, snow, or freezing fog are common weather phenomena that pilots must deal with. These weather phenomena make landing and taking off extremely difficult for the airport's surroundings and cankers the fear factor even more because it's in a far-off, barren area with craggy mountains, glaciers, and ice fjords. Pilots are met with a harsh and dismal landscape devoid of any significant civilization as they approach the airport. The runway's short length, which is just over 850 feet and significantly shorter than the runways at many other international airports, is another factor that contributes to the airport's anxiety. This limited runway length reduces the margin for error during takeoff. This factor appears to be common to many of the airports on this list. In setting down, and did I also mention that there are polar bears there? Yes, they are a potential threat to personnel and aircraft alike. While special precautions like substantial fencing and frequent polar bear patrols are in place to reduce the risk, there is always a chance that one will come into contact with these majestic but dangerous animals. Number 8. Toncontín International Airport, Honduras. This international airport, which is renowned for being one of the most difficult and nerve-wracking airports to land at, is situated in the center of Tegucigalpa, the capital city of Honduras. Pilots who approach a continent face a number of factors that make it a truly terrifying experience, including a short runway, mountainous terrain, unpredictable weather, and demanding maneuvering requirements. Yes, it's another short runway. At just 6,112 feet long, it's also significantly shorter than the majority of international airports' runways. Pilots must cope with the requirement to navigate a small flight path because to the airport's location near mountains. Approaching the airport requires passing through a valley surrounded by steep hillsides and harsh mountains, while also avoiding obstructions and keeping a steady drop profile. Additionally, this area's erratic weather compounds the scare factor during thunderstorms in Dakota. Although some other airports on our list have advanced navigation systems, Contain International Airport does not. As a result, pilots must rely primarily on visual references and their own judgment, which increases the pressure and demand for accurate decision-making in a challenging environment. Strong crosswinds and sudden wind shear are very common here, making every landing attempt at high stakes an endeavor. Number 7. Gibraltar International Airport. Gibraltar International Airport, the popular short runway, of course, is a must for any scary airport, but it's also close to a major road and has a towering rock formation that's about 6,000 feet tall. Situated on the British overseas territory of Gibraltar, it's a terrifying landing experience for even the most experienced pilot. Not to mention the airport's unusual placement next to Gibraltar's busiest road, Winston Churchill Avenue, which affords pilots limited room to safely land and stop their aircraft and make sure they brake safely inside the controlled runway length. When taking off and landing, pilots have to deal with the requirement to fly low over the road, which leads to incredibly unsettlingly closeness to cars and people. In addition, the towering rock of Gibraltar encircles the airport, presenting additional difficulties. The complicated wind pattern that the rock formation creates can provide abrupt gusts and turbulent conditions. The rock also restricts the approach and departure path, necessitating careful airplane handling to avoid the surrounding terrain. Strong crosswinds and low-lying clouds will greatly hamper visibility and stability, making every landing or takeoff a high-stakes operation. Pilots must be ready to quickly adjust to changing conditions. The area's unpredictable weather conditions add to the fright factor. Number 6. Telluride Regional Airport, Colorado. Tucked in between Colorado's majestic San Juan Mountains, why is landing at Telluride Regional Airport such a terrifying thought? Telluride Regional Airport is known among pilots as one of the most nerve-wracking because of its high altitude, challenging terrain, and unpredictable weather. Landing here is a prospect that surely has many pilots waking up screaming, sweating, and clutching their pillows. First off, Telluride Regional Airport is one of the highest commercial airports in North America due to its incredible elevation of 9,078 feet above sea level. The thin air at this altitude has a significant impact on aircraft performance, reducing lift and engine power. Pilots must meticulously calculate and modify their course and speed while being sure to account for the decreased air density, which makes landing and taking off considerably more difficult. The runway itself is relatively short, measuring only 6,911 feet in length, and is situated on a plateau, which increases the burden on pilots. Another factor that makes approaching and landing in this area difficult for pilots is the difficult instrument approach procedures. This airport has a non-precision instrument approach, which means pilots must rely on navigational aids. The region experiences frequent, and rapid weather changes, including sudden wind, heavy snowfall, and low visibility due to fog or cloud cover, and visual cues to guide them safely to the runway. Thus, Telluride Regional Airport in Colorado presents a formidable challenge for pilots because of its high altitude, difficult terrain, unpredictable weather, and demanding approach procedures. Put another way, it's not a pleasant place to land, whether you're a pilot, a passenger, or even a member of the cabin crew. It's a rough one. These factors combine to make it necessary for pilots to have exceptional skills and experience in precision in order to land or take off from this remarkable but intimidating airport. Only those who are adept at handling the unique challenges of Telluride dare to face the exhilarating experience of flying into this mountainous oasis. Number 5. Kai Tak Airport, Hong Kong. Closed as of now, this airport, which was once in the center of Hong Kong, was well known for being among the world's most difficult and terrifying places to land. Pilots who attempted the task faced a special combination of challenges that made the experience extremely frightening, such as a difficult approach, intricate turns, and unpredictable weather. The airport's approach process, known as the checkerboard approach, required pilots to make a 47-degree right turn at low altitude in order to line with the runway, which is one of the reasons why landing here was so terrifying. This operation demanded a high level of expertise and precision from the pilots, who also had to deal with the aircraft's short turning radius, time constraints for aligning it, and quick descent. Since the airport is located in a heavily populated urban region, its particular geological features have also been a big problem. Strong and erratic winds were caused by the mountains and tall buildings that encircled Kai Tak. Since the wind and gusts may vary suddenly, each landing attempt was a little different here. The likelihood of wind shear is also increased by buildings in close vicinity, and towering buildings have the potential to disrupt wind currents, further complicating the situation. Here, pilots had to rely only on air traffic control guidance and instruments to safely manage the hazardous weather conditions. The airport was closed in 1998, which signaled the end of an era for deviation enthusiasts who kind of marveled at the extraordinary skills and nerves of steel displayed by the flight crews navigating this unique and challenging airport. The airport lacked modern navigational aids like ILS-2, which provide precise guidance during approach and landing, so once again pilots are forced to rely on their training, bravery, and common sense. Number 4. Wellington Airport, New Zealand. Wellington International Airport, which is located on the southern coast of New Zealand's North Island, is impossible to leave off this list due to its erratic weather patterns and relatively small runway. The region's infamously strong winds play a key role in this. Because of the city's topography, Wellington is known for its gusty and unpredictable winds, which can make approaching and landing procedures extremely difficult because pilots must constantly adjust their flight controls, adding to the "oh my god" factor. Additionally, Wellington International Airport is close to Cook Strait, which divides New Zealand's North and South Islands. Because of this, the airport is subject to constantly changing weather patterns, including sudden changes in visibility and fog. The comparatively short Wellington runway, which is only 351 feet long and ends prematurely, increases the intensity of the landing and requires pilots to be ready to adjust quickly to changing conditions. This is another prematurely ended runway that offers little room for planes to land. The pilots are under more strain to retain complete control of the aircraft during the whole landing procedure because of the short runway and the possibility of bad weather. Number 3. Santos Dumont Airport, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Santos Dumont Airport in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is notorious for instilling fear in pilots due to its challenging conditions. With a short runway of only 4,333 feet and surrounded by geographic impediments, landing here requires precise control of speed, descent rate, and braking. Pilots must navigate cautiously to avoid obstacles during takeoff and landing, heightened by the intense visuals and proximity to buildings, which increase anxiety and demand heightened attention. Furthermore, strong winds, turbulence, and unpredictable weather variations are common in the area, adding to the complexity of piloting. Pilots must be prepared to handle crosswinds and gusts, especially during approach and landing, while the airport's proximity to Guanabara Bay introduces additional challenges such as fog and low-lying clouds caused by temperature and humidity variations. Despite these obstacles, successfully landing at Santos Dumont Airport offers pilots breathtaking views of Rio de Janeiro's iconic landmarks, including the Christ the Redeemer statue and Sugarloaf Mountain, serving as a rewarding conclusion to the tense journey. Number 2. Narsarsuaq Airport, Greenland. Located in southern Greenland, this airport poses significant challenges for pilots, earning it a spot on our list of terrifying landing locations. Surrounded by towering mountains and icy glaciers in a fjord, the terrain creates a dramatic yet daunting landscape. Erratic weather, frequent fog, strong winds, and sudden changes in visibility demand constant vigilance from pilots during approach and landing. The small fjords further restrict maneuvering space, requiring precise flight path management. With the short runway spanning only 5,577 feet, pilots face heightened anxiety as they navigate the combination of challenging terrain and unpredictable weather. Moreover, the absence of nearby emergency and support services adds to the sense of isolation, raising the stakes for a successful landing. If you ever find yourself on a flight bound for this airport, locating the vomit bag might be a wise precaution. Number 1. Courchavel Airport, France. Courchavel Airport in the French Alps tops the list as one of the most daunting and challenging airports for pilots. Surrounded by majestic mountains, its notoriously short and steep runway presents a formidable obstacle. With a length of just 1,760 feet and a steep grade of approximately 18.5%, pilots must navigate a steep drop and control their speed with precision to ensure a safe landing, adding to the intensity of the experience. Furthermore, the airport's location in the heart of the French Alps exposes pilots to strong crosswinds, unpredictable weather conditions, and the constant threat of turbulence, requiring constant vigilance, frequent course adjustments, and quick decision-making to navigate safely through the mountainous terrain. Adding to the complexity is the absence of traditional navigational aids like ILS, leaving pilots to rely primarily on visual cues and their own judgment during approach and landing. This reliance on manual navigation heightens the pressure and anxiety for pilots, making Courchavel Airport a truly nerve-wracking destination for air travel. If the thought of navigating such challenging conditions leaves you feeling apprehensive about flying, you're not alone. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or a nervous flyer, the daunting nature of airports like Courchavel is enough to make anyone think twice about boarding a plane. This is it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. You can support us by giving us super chats and becoming a member of the channel for amazing perks. We'll see you in the next video. Ciao!